Thank you for joining us to help celebrate tourism in the Cedar Valley and Tourism Week this week. This is our lucky 13th gathering for the Cedar Valley Tourism Awards, and for the four of you who aren't familiar with us, I'm Aaron Buzza with the Waterloo Convention and Visitors Bureau, and this is Kim Manning with the Cedar Falls Tourism and Visitors Bureau. We're very pleased and extremely honored that you made time out of your busy schedules. I know many of you have busy schedules. We have busy schedules. To be here to honor those who are making the Cedar Valley a great place to visit. And we're very, very excited to honor all of the fabulous events, attractions, businesses, and people that make this the outstanding destination that it is. We want to extend a special welcome and thank you to our boards, committees, and staff members for being with us here today. Can those of you who are board, committee, or staff members just raise your hand, please? And also a special thank you to Mayor Jim Brown, Mayor Quentin Hart, former Mayor Tim Hurley, and Councilman Tom Powers for being here as well. And one other set of names that we want to say thank you to, our awards committee: Dave Deeds, Atul Patel, Dharmendra Patel, Leslie Prideaux, Crystal Ford, and Carrie Kelker. In addition to announcing the awards, we're very, very pleased to be here at the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum. We thank Billy Bailey and her team from the Grout Museum District for welcoming us. Last year's Customer Service Award was presented to the committee of the 365 and Counting Vietnam War exhibit. And coming up this summer, special preview, we'd like to encourage everyone to visit and come back to see a new exhibit recognizing Iowans who have served in the Korean War.
I'd like to extend my welcome as well. Thanks so much for making time to be here with us today. The fact that it's Tourism Month is especially exciting to us. You know, if you've been coming to these events for any length of time, you know that we're going to tell you all these statistics. But it's really important for everybody to know the impact that tourism makes on our community, especially when we have the ears of some of our important people here with us. Some of you might think they're kind of dry, but I don't. We're all a part of the tourism industry, and we should all feel very good about the positive impacts we make on our community. Our efforts bring fun and vitality to our community, making it an attractive place to visit and a great place to live. This helps businesses and workforce attraction, both of which are critically necessary for continued prosperity in our area. By bringing visitors to our community, we are essentially importing taxpayers. These are temporary taxpayers who contribute to the bottom lines of museums like we're in today, performing art centers, galleries, festivals, sporting events, restaurants, lodging establishments, and many other businesses. Here in Iowa, tourism generates more than $8.1 billion in expenditures and employs 67,400 people statewide. It also generates $583 million in state and local taxes. In Blackhawk County, in 2015, tourism generated $352 million in expenditures and employed 2,900 people.
As Mel Allen would have said on This Week in Baseball, how about that? It's my first of two impressions this evening.
Oh boy.
Congratulations to everyone in the room for making all of those numbers possible. In addition, although difficult to measure, we in the tourism industry help create memories and offer opportunities for people to connect, to do business, to compete in sporting events, and to rest and relax. Stories make connections, and there are wonderful stories to share here in the area. All of our work and all of those stories contribute to the outstanding quality of life we all enjoy here in the Cedar Valley, and that does play a large role in business and workforce development. All of this, in addition to honoring those of you who will be receiving awards, is why we're celebrating today. So let's honor those folks, and let's start celebrating successful businesses, events, and people that make the Cedar Valley so enticing for visitors.
Okay, We've been recognizing the best restaurant for a few years now, and this award allows us and you to honor some of your favorite places to eat. If we had a nickel for every time our offices were asked for restaurant recommendations, we could buy everyone dinner tonight. There are obviously many great places to dine, but we've found that visitors want places with a local flavor and taste, a taste of the community. This year's honoree is local and a very key part of the community. Nominations for this year's Best Restaurant highlighted the atmosphere, the lively music, the attentive service, a renaissance of flavors, and the complementary role it plays with other restaurants in the area. The fact that this new restaurant started when the owner closed an old favorite, took on the risk of replacing CU with their own concept is another great plus. It's our great pleasure to present the Best Restaurant Award to Brian's on 4th.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks everyone. It's such a cool thing to be back in the Cedar Valley. I was born and raised here, and to be part of this community.
And speaking of that local flavor, we want to say thanks to restaurants who were nominated this year and last year's winner, which was Whiskey Road, for providing food. So please do help yourself and enjoy some of that local flavor. We're going to move on to Lodging Establishment of the Year, and as we've noted in years past, this is a very, very competitive category, and the committee's scores this year reflected that competition. The establishment we're honoring today is a little different than ones that we've honored previously. It's one of the newest kids on the block, and the nominations spoke to the fact that it has received the Founders Award, which is the highest customer satisfaction award from its corporate office for 2 consecutive years. And it's one of only 8 out of more than 500 in its franchise to receive that recognition. In addition, the events and amenities available to guests, stuff like Super Soaker weekends, disc golf, a beach, fishing derbies, kayaks, water trikes, and bicycles, make it very family friendly. The popularity of the cabins has led for plans to add additional cabins in the campground. Please help us in recognizing the Waterloo Lost Island KOA as the outstanding lodging establishment.
All right. Well, thank you guys for the award, and thanks for nominating us, and hopefully we'll see you out there this summer. Come on, check it out.
Our next category is the Outstanding Event and Attraction. This category represents a merger of 2 categories from previous years. Our awards committee, consisting of Leslie Prideaux, Atul Patel, Dharmendra Patel, David Deeds, Crystal Ford, and Carrie Kelker, all met in early January to discuss all aspects of the awards. And the consensus from the committee was to merge the 2 categories to help push for great events and great attractions and compelling nominations. And boy, were they. This is an interesting category since the recipients always contribute to vitality of the tourism industry. And this year's nominations were stellar. It turns out that this year's honoree has been welcoming visitors, making Waterloo and the Cedar Valley a top-of-mind destination for decades. In calendar year 2016, this attraction brought 25,000 people through the doors. More than 81% of them were from outside of the Cedar Valley, and visitors came from all 50 states and 37 countries. Our honoree changed the paradigm in March as well as they shifted their hours, allowing them to welcome visitors 7 days a week. And if that wasn't enough, they did away with admission costs. For nearly a century, visitors have been coming to the Cedar Valley because of John Deere, and it's our pleasure to recognize the John Deere Tractor and Engine Museum, this year's outstanding event attraction.
Okay, sorry. Not as loud as everybody else, but thank you everybody for your support. The John Deere Tractor and Engine Museum has had immense support from the community. We plan to do great things for tourism here, and we want to keep bringing people in from all over the world and sending them your way. So thank you so much.
We added a category last year to recognize the best customer service. It seems only fitting to honor a business or individual for amazing customer service when that's the industry we're all in. The conversation about this year's recipient was a lot of fun. Almost everyone on the committee had a story to tell about an amazing experience they'd had with this year's honoree. Our honoree has been in her position since January 2001 and is a very well-known face and voice for travelers to and from Waterloo. One person nominating her called her a travel hero, and she's assisted with rebookings and jumping in to make calls on behalf of travelers. She's fixed customer booking mistakes, ones that they made on their own, and does so with a smile and kind words. We hear every day, it seems, about customer service failures in the airline industry, but you don't find that at the Waterloo Regional Airport. Whether you're departing or arriving, you'll be welcomed with a friendly smile by all members of the team. And if you're fortunate enough to be welcomed by this year's honoree, you may hear, "Hello, love," from Wendy Wilson. Please help me as we recognize Wendy Wilson with the Best Customer Service Award.
I just want to say thank you very much to everybody this meant to welcome me. I love the airport, I love the community. The longer I'm in at the airport, I become more familiar about the Cedar Valley and the people of Iowa and the world. And thank you all very much.
As I mentioned a little earlier, our committee made some recommendations for some changes for this year's awards program, and one of the changes was to recognize the runners-up from each category and create a People's Choice Award. The Iowa Tourism Office does something similar to this, and we announced the second highest placing nominees in each category and came to you, the public, for input. In our inaugural year, the choices consisted of 4 great businesses: Newton's Paradise Cafe, the Black Hawk Hotel, the Cedar Valley Sportsplex, and Barn Happy. Thank you to everyone who rocked the vote. And actually, they selected the Cedar Valley Sportsplex as your People's Choice Award.
I'll be brief. Just thank you guys very much. If you haven't been down, stop down for a tour. We're always looking for new members. Thank you.
Sorry about the dry ice, Mark. He had requested that for his entrance like a wrestler. For those of you who have been with us for this event previously, you know that each bureau takes an opportunity to recognize a community partner, a business, an individual, or an organization that has done extraordinary things for tourism in our community. We call these our Friends of Tourism. Perhaps great work has been done for a number of years. We've recognized businesses that might not be recognized in the nomination process also. We've also recognized individuals, legislators, board members, mayors, whose work has made our communities better for tourism. While all of our awards are important and incredibly special, this is a really unique opportunity for us to offer recognition that perhaps a public nomination process doesn't recognize. Each year there are a number of choices that could be honored, but as we looked at nominations this year, one really stood out to us. Contributions from this organization have helped bring wrestling tournaments and other sporting events. They've assisted museums, including the one that we're in, and attractions with capital projects. And they added to the landscape of Waterloo with more than $19.5 million in contributions to projects like the River Loop Expo, the People's Choice winner, the Cedar Valley Sportsplex, Brinker Lake, the Burns Park Tennis Center, the Cedar River Boathouse, Tibbetts and Dane Ball Fields, the Phelps Youth Pavilion, and as I mentioned, the Grout Museum District. In the past 10 years, 410 projects have been funded with over $38 million in grants, by the Waterloo Friend of Tourism, the Blackhawk County Gaming Association.
Okay, so the other 15 members of our board and our executive director, Beth Knipp, thank you so much for the nomination, let alone the award. The other thing is, I was thinking, I was sitting back there, it's been 7 years that I've been out of the mayor's office, and I greatly miss Jim's and Quentin's reality of being able to talk just however long you want. And I'm not going to do that to you, but I do, I am very close to what the Blackhawk County Gaming Association is about and how it impacts the Cedar Valley. You know, in a nutshell, we award grants that help grow our community, the Cedar Valley. And all we're trying to do, along with the rest of you and so many other organizations and trusts and nonprofits and government agencies and departments and for-profits, that just to make our Cedar Valley, our home, a better place to live and to grow and to recreate. And this award, I think, tells us on the board of directors that, well, maybe we're on the way. We're at least making some progress, and we're doing the right things. There were two things I thought about when Aaron or Beth informed me that Blackhawk County Gaming was up for this award. Number one was that I looked at how we operate and what we do, and nowhere does it specifically say that we support tourism. And Kim was very right on with her numbers and her data and reminding us how tourism, folks, is the second biggest industry in the state of Iowa. And so anything that we can do assists in that. But we don't speak to it specifically. We say what we do is provide property tax relief. We fund capital improvements. We benefit charitable organizations. We enhance public facilities. We create new opportunities where none existed before, and we create, replace, or upgrade substantial capital items. Now, all you need to do is look up and down the river, and the Gaming Association's imprint is on that. I don't think it takes only a minor stretch of the mind to look at those things, the public facilities and the capital projects and the tax relief and that sort of thing, to understand that each and every one of them supports tourism, supports. I was at a meeting the other night, and it was about tourism, it was about image, it was about how we brand ourselves. Every regional place in the country our size seeks to do things that make their community better. The question in my mind, as I left that meeting the other night, is we do the same thing. We are absolutely successful in trying to make things better. But why can't we, why shouldn't we do it better than everybody else? And I'll just leave that as a question for you. We should and we can. The second thing that I reflected upon was the fact that while we don't specifically denote tourism, we've done an awful lot for tourism. In fact, the very first grant that we made 10 years ago, this is our 10th year in the Gaming Association of providing grants, was to the Salt and Pepper Museum down in Traer, Iowa. We've contributed to the Tama Jim Wilson Museum in Tama. Of the first $1 million that came to the Waterloo Development Corporation through the Blackhawk Gaming Association, before the casino was even broken ground, $500,000 went to the Phelps Youth Museum, and $500,000 went to our amphitheater. So we've contributed many projects. You know, at my age, if you start trying to think of things, it's best to just let it come at random, and not in any certain order, because if you try to go in certain order, you get a fault message. But the Waterloo Center for the Arts, the Hearst Center for the Arts, Bob Hellman's built our ballparks. My gosh, folks, understand the impact that has on heads on beds and tourism and restaurants in our community when those tournaments come. So I'm just very happy to represent a great group. I look forward to all of the things that I know that are on the table that are going to enhance the quality of life in our community, so that we can truly go out and not let the headlines or the top story or rumor define who we are in the Cedar Valley. But we can tell them for sure this is one of the best places in the world to locate, to work, and to recreate. Thank you very much.
Well said, Tim. Congratulations. You are indeed a friend of the entire Cedar Valley. Well, Aaron is right. We take this opportunity to honor a special friend of tourism, and we take it very seriously because we both recognize the success of our area has much to do with our friends and partners. The Cedar Falls Tourism and Visitors Bureau is extremely proud to recognize our friend, Cedar Falls Community Main Street. Main Street is celebrating their 30th anniversary, and it's very fitting to honor them this year. Main Street's tiny staff and large army of volunteers produce endless quality events throughout the year, including Artapalooza, Movies Under the Moon, the Cedar Valley Grand Fondo and Fondo Fest, and of course, Holiday Hoopla. They tend to the visual appeal of the area and help bring an exciting mix of businesses into the district that our visitors love to patronize. Main Street and the Bureau have been closely aligned from the beginning when we shared office space in the Cedar Falls Chamber building, and we've intentionally maintained that relationship ever since. They are always willing to partner on cooperative ventures and advertisements, and downtown Cedar Falls is a must-see and must-do for visitors to the community. Congratulations to Cedar Falls Main Street on your 30th anniversary and for this award, and we thank you for all you do.
Pleasure to work with both of these two professionals that we have in our community, and I think we should all recognize how lucky we are to have such leadership in our community. And we thank you for this award, and I enjoy working with you every day. Thank you.
How about one more round of applause for all of our honorees tonight? Congratulations to all who received awards. Congratulations to everyone who was nominated. Thank you all for the work that you do on a daily basis to make our communities great places to visit. We thank you for attending our event and for sharing your input to help us make the selections. Billy, Christy, thank you for hosting us. Thanks to the Grout Museum District for having us here. Please help yourself to food before you go. Please stick around and mingle. If you're headed back to Cedar Falls and want to do something this evening, Mayor Brown is going to a concert at Pete Junior High. If you're staying in Waterloo, I'm headed over to Hoover Middle School for a concert. So, you can follow along with either one of us if you'd like. Otherwise, please feel free to just hang out. Thank you all so much for being here.